Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to the Blue Radio Show. I have celebrity PR Nelson with to answer all of your PR questions. I actually spoke this over with my Twitter, and they had so many questions to ask. So I took some of those questions, combined them with ones that I had for her, and she's here to answer all our questions. So, Shatonna, how are you doing today?
Hello, hi everyone. Hello, Miss Blue. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm trying to keep my head above waters and stay focused and productive.
Girl, you looking good. You over there vibrant and stuff. I'm like, okay, all right.
Thank you. You too. So the questions that I have for you are in regards to just the nature of PRing and exactly. I was really surprised that a lot of artists don't even know what a PR is. So can you tell us why did you start your PR agency and when did
So
you?
for me, I actually started out in healthcare and I've been doing it forever, but I had a public relations background. So in high school, I had an interest and I'd also interned with KSLA in Shreveport, right? So for me, when I was tired of healthcare, I wanted to switch over, and PR is just something that came natural to me, and I'd done for so long. So that's why I ultimately went ahead and started my PR firm. After, of course, I did it with other people and under other companies.
Okay, so what role does a PR handle in a person's career?
So a PR can be anything, and people laugh about that all the time. So a manager can't do PR, but a PR can manage you. So just to really, really break it down, a PR can handle your bookings, your image, your stylist. They can give you all types of different training. Public relations just means, in short, how the public relates to you. That can be a plethora of things. So, if it's a truly trained publicist, they can handle all things that come with a brand for an artist, for a business, for a concept, for an event, right? But at the same time, an event planner or a manager or someone else may not necessarily have the training to practice PR.
That's a lot. So you just stated that I just want to make sure I heard you right. A PR can actually act as a manager too,
That's right.
correct?
Yeah, that's right. A PR can manage bookings and do bookings. They can manage you if they choose to, or they can work with your manager. A PR can do a little bit of anything. That's literally their job is defined on your contract or agreement with them, but it is just generally how the public, how they view you, your brand, and your impact. That's it.
Well, let us know this. When should someone hire a PR? Because I was surprised to see on social media when I did my poll, a lot of people was like, I don't know why I would need a PR, or I'm a nobody. Why would a PR want to represent me?
Yeah, so a lot of people think that, but the way that you go from being a nobody to someone is a publicist, right? That's what a PR does. So I would tell you as soon as you have a budget for public relations, and sometimes that's not full on public relations, but a lot of times, so I'll use rappers or singers as an example. They need to get interviews with radio stations and be at specific events. That's what a publicist does. So it's really good to do that early because then you start solidifying yourself with the business and you want to be up and coming. If you don't have the proper foundation, you can never grow. So the moment you can somehow get a budget for a publicist, you should do that. You should do that. And everyone needs one. It's the one thing that everyone needs, no matter what you do, it's a brand. If you're an actress, you have a brand. If you have a business, you have a radio show, you're a singer, you're a rapper, you need a publicist because it's their job to determine your brand, your outreach, how many people see you, how many events you can go to, how many radio shows you sit down at. So, a publicist is really important from the very beginning. It also makes the difference between a megastar and someone that doesn't make it. I say this all the time. Beyonce, Drake, Cardi, people like that, they are outrageously talented. We know that,
Right.
right? But the truth is, I know some really talented people who never made it. So the difference in a lot of cases is your team. You have to have a solid team around you. Yes, you have to put in the work, but
Right.
you can't do everything. You need someone who's getting you bookings just as well as you need someone who's going to get you the interview or who's going to bring your attention to someone else because of their connections and because of their networking. And someone to tell you, hey, you're doing too much, sit down, right? So the difference between being just someone doing this or just starting, or the difference between making it, truly making it, is a publicist because success isn't always fame. But if you're bringing in the revenue and you're networking and you're really excelling and doing better than you did the year before, then you're reaching success.
Amen to that. What would you say has been the biggest mistake that you've seen people make when even reaching out to a PR?
Well, always assuming or this is the biggest mistake, period, with people. There isn't a conversation that's had. So when you're reaching out to a manager, a radio station, a publicist, anyone, see who they are and what they do. Everyone doesn't do the same thing. I'm a specialty PR, which means I can do a little bit of everything. All PRs don't have that experience. So I think the biggest mistake people make is assuming or saying, hey, can you do this? Like, you need to get professional enough to be like, hi, how are you? I see that you do this. Like, how could that help my brand? This is what I do. This is who I am. These are my links. What is it that you can do as a professional for my brand? Because you'd be surprised. So I think the biggest mistake people make when reaching out to anyone is not being able to have an effective conversation. Because if you're not asking the right questions, then you're not ever going to get the answers that you're looking for, any clarity at all. So be open enough to just say, hey, listen, I see that you do this. I don't know about what you do, but I'm interested in what you do because this is what I do. That's it.
And I agree with you because there are a lot of times, like you said, and it comes a lot to do with also doing your research on the PR firm that you're trying to work with. But sometimes you don't have people honest like you, Shatonna, to tell an artist that. And so you tell someone, this is what I'm trying to do, and then they do that and they take all your money, and then you're looking like, well, I thought I was going to get this. Or so it's like you said, it's important to do your research as well and know what you're talking about and what you need done.
What I've learned is that happens on both sides. A lot of PRs get a bad rep, just like a lot of rappers and artists get a bad rep, right?
Mm-hmm.
And once one person has a story about you, everyone seems to adapt some story or some experience that they've had. So I do have some advice when it comes to that. There's bad stories about me. I'm a monster in some people's stories, and I'm okay with that. Okay, yeah, probably. Some of the stuff I may have even done, right? I'm okay with that. I'm that kind of person. Everybody isn't. But if I tell you that I've worked with certain people, I'm doing something with certain people, and you can't Google it or go to my website and see that, then that's a red flag, right? If there's a service that I'm telling you that I can provide, yet when you look me up and you're looking at my functions, if I'm telling you to fix your social media, but my social media is a mess, well, that's a red flag. So business in any sense, not just with the PR, business in any sense is about having common sense. So
Right.
in order to deal with the publicist, just like with me, before I deal with certain artists, I do look at their social media and different things, right? Not to judge them, because my experience with no one can ever tell me not to work with someone, right? They can be like, oh, I had a terrible experience with this person. I'm like, that's good. That don't mean that's going to be my experience. I'm not that person. However, I do use my five senses. So if I get on the phone with you and you tell me that you're best friends with someone, but there's no evidence of that, that's a red flag, right?
Yeah.
That's the same way a client should look at a PR. If for a lot of times I don't tell people much except for what I can do as a publicist, and then they call me back like, "Hey, man, you ain't tell me you work with," and I'm like, "Well, I didn't realize that was relevant, but yeah, of course I do, right?" So,
Right.
you just got to use your five senses, man, and your own five senses.
Facts. So, do you handle EPs, music campaigns, like small campaigns? A lot of artists on my social media want to know, okay, I don't have a major project. I don't know if I would need a PR for a whole month. but I do have a really big nice EP coming out. I need help with that. Do you have services that would help someone in that aspect?
Absolutely. I have a whole talent roster where I develop someone. I bring them in. I teach them how to do their foundation, like their social media, how to send email to get interviews, and how to release a single. Because a lot of times most artists don't even have a foundation, but they just want to throw out this single and they don't get the traction, and then they blame the PR or the radio station who didn't want to interview them. And the radio station like, bruh, you got 3 followers and 2 of them your cousins. So why am I bring you and interview you, right?
Right.
So I do that. But what a lot of people need to realize is when you have a brand, you should be able to take it to a PR firm or to someone, and they should be able to look over your brand first before ever charging you and say, listen, this is what we can do. You need to have a serious conversation, and you truly need to listen. So if I have a conversation and I say, look, I have this talent roster program, I can teach you how to build your brand like a do-it-yourself PR situation, maybe PR, or they can say, look, this is what we can do for this single or for this EP. And listen to that and say, okay, well, yeah, that does work for me, right? So you may not be able to afford it completely, or it may be to you like, I just have this small project. Well, those small projects add up to the whole elephant, right? The elephant's just not an elephant. You have to build those things. So your small things, if you get a PR and you do it the right way, then it's great because that's all building up your brand as a whole. So yeah, I do stuff like that. Every PR does it. You just have to ask and say, look, this is what I have. What can we do? And hear what they say. Don't just get on calls and rush it through. Get in a quiet place and listen to them say, well, we can do this virtual release party. Invite this people. I have access to these people, and we just gonna drop it, and you just gonna listen to it. And we're gonna invite people in to listen to it because that's my vision for it. And you as an artist should be able to say, well, here's my vision, and y'all should be able to work together to come up with some type of vision. Because if that doesn't exist, then I mean it's irrelevant anyway, right?
And that's true, because I did notice, like, when I was speaking with a lot of the artists on my social media page, they had this ignorance about how the publicists even work, and they're like, what, like, basically they want to be a celebrity overnight. And when I was asking, well, what are you doing? Are you going to be promoting? Like, the promotion don't stop. Can you, from a PR point of view, can you artists, like, for an artist that's looking for a PR who thinks that I hired a PR, I don't have to do anything anymore?
It's not just artists, it's people in general. They feel like, and it's not just with the publicists, and I'm saying this because it's true. If you don't put in the work for yourself, why would your brand go anywhere? And see, here's the issue. I can put in mad hours for you, mad hours. And if you don't put in any of that work, it's not going to matter because the truth is you have to put that in. Some people do go viral, but most of the people that you see go viral have been trying to go viral for 7 and 8 years and they finally go viral. We live in this microwave society where everybody thinks it can come fast. Even with the publicist, I am building a brand, just like Charmin, just like Johnson and Johnson, just like Nike. They didn't become that. So the goal of a publicist is to build a brand and a foundation that's so solid that you continually progress slowly, sometimes overnight, but you continually progress so that you have a solidified brand that you continue to grow, you continue to get revenue, and you continue to climb, because that's the ultimate goal. And it doesn't always look like overnight. It's a process. Anything is a process depending on how the market is. I've never taken on anybody and said you're going to be that person in a couple of weeks, because your journey may not be someone else's journey. Let me tell you something bigger than that. The seeds you plant grow. And also what you do with your life matters. If it's not your time, even if you don't believe in God, if it's not your time, if the universe says it's not your time, you can go and get Rambo to clear out every other artist in the industry, and it's still not going to be
so true.
your time. The best thing you can do is work to at least have a solid brand, that it looks good, that you speak well, that you have a good product, that you build up your viewers and that your supporters, so that when your time does come, you're not a mess and you miss it. And that's the purpose of a publicist, to really build something so great that when it is your time that you grow, and when those bad seeds that you planted, they gone away now. Some of y'all done planted some seeds, child. You know,
Okay.
and a lot of publicists undoing your nonsense, right?
Right.
So respect the fact that I can send out 300 emails, but I can't make people answer them back. And just because they didn't answer back in March doesn't mean that if we're consistent and diligent and we're cleaning up your project and building that foundation, and I reach back out, that they're not going to say, you know, in February that was a mess, but now that we're in October, send them to me. You understand what I'm saying? I think people don't understand that part of not just the industry at all, just business. Because if you're an artist, that's a business. If you're a rapper, it's a business. If you're an
Yes,
actor,
it is.
it's a business. If you're a host, it's a business. And all businesses just have to have a brand. That's the purpose of a publicist.
And I think that's a great idea. So artists out there, I mean, the work does not stop. You can't just stop and say, okay, I have this PR and she's gonna make me an overnight success. I don't have to do no work. It's a joint effort, like you said. You couldn't have said it any better than that. So with someone who does a variety of different things, because you do have some people that come in, they're almost like a one-stop shop. Is it harder to work with people like that just doesn't focus on one area of their career?
It depends. Some people, I'm like, three of those things, they don't even work, child. Let's put those to bed, right? But then there are some people, because they have so many irons in the fire, they have a work ethic that works for it.
Mm.
I have some clients that act, that sing, that dance, and they know how to mesh all of that together. Whereas
Okay.
other clients, I have to say, you don't know how to do this. So let's do one at a time and build on to that. It's just a matter of someone knowing everyone's very different, right? I
Right.
usually like people that have 10,000 projects going, usually because they have one that they prioritize over the other and they're well functioning.
Mm.
Everybody is, right? Some people, it's
Right.
like, we're going to add that in 3 years because it's going to take us 3 years to fix your life, child. So let's, you know what I mean? But it's just a matter of gauging who that person, like me, I do a million things, right? I do. Um, I'm good at them all, but not because I woke up good at them, because I really put in time to work hard at all those things, right? So
Right.
now I can function and juggle all of those things at one time. But however, if you would have found me a couple of years back, it would have been rough. You would have been like, Shatonna, like that ain't,
Like
right?
I can keep
So
up.
it's important to know where you are in your journey and what you can handle in your journey. And so for me, it just depends on who the person is and what it is they're trying to do. Like, do not tell me you rap in the daytime and you go to the skate park at night, and because you got to pick one, kid. Like, we can't,
Yes.
you know what I mean? Like, what? Like, what? You know what I mean? So, like, and things have to align with each other, right? I'm an activist by day, but I shoot people by night. Like, what? What do you do?
Exactly.
Like, huh? So the things that you want to do and that you're doing, they all need to align, right? So it's just a
Mhm.
matter of who it is and what they're working on.
Okay. And so can you tell us usually how long does a campaign last? Like for artists that this is one of my Twitter questions, for artists that has a EP coming out, or let me say a single, how long would that campaign last?
It depends on what it is. And I'm about to give y'all a really big hint on if you're dealing with a PR who know what they're doing. If they call it a campaign, that's a rollout for a certain amount of time. Campaign in PR terms is something like bigger. This campaign for your image. Campaign think politics long terms. If they say this activation is short term. So this activation for your EP, right? Because we know your EP is getting ready to drop. If they talk in that kind of language, they know what they're talking about. If they say, let's get ready for this campaign for your single that come out next week, you probably should stress, right? Because campaign is longevity. Yeah, campaign is longevity, right? So when you think about, when I say to my clients, let's work on this campaign, this is a total rollout usually of a brand that would include multiple singles, multiple media interviews, multiple appearances, because it's a campaign, right? But an activation for something can be fairly short. But campaigns isn't usually something that's underneath a month period. A campaign is a rollout, right? So if we're about to roll out a single or something like that, I like most projects, I like 6 weeks. Even though I like to know in 6 weeks it's going to come out, because that gives us enough time to play with it, to get Twitter talking about it, to do some interviews for it, to do some lives, let people hear some snippets of the song, like, okay. And you can't do that in a week, right? And people need to hear things, you need to be redundant, right? So truly, I like things to at least be 6 weeks, but I have done things in 2 weeks and they've been really successful.
Nice, awesome. So once again, that was like one of the polls, and I said, I'll answer that and see, because I do come across a lot of artists, even myself, that's like, I keep telling people one thing I didn't want to keep doing, Shatonna, is making great music and throwing it out there to the masses, and it's not good because you don't have a solid backing behind it. It's almost,
girl, ask my clients, they'll be like, I'd be like, oh, you can take all that down. They'd be like, oh, like they'll tell you, like if you go and look at some of my posts where my artists, like they'll even like my A-listers, they'll be like like you can find posts now tag where it says when you get that text from Shatonna that says take it down. Ooh. Like first of all, like even when we see things like Beyonce and J. Cole, they'll just drop it, right? And we be like, oh, they just woke up and dropped it. Then why were the blogs waiting and picked it up 3 minutes after and started talking about it? Why was it already on Apple and Spotify and everywhere else? Okay. Because you can't just drop anything to Apple or to Spotify or to Amazon. You have to say, hey, this is the date that I'm going to do it. So that's always funny to me. People be like, oh, this morning Beyonce woke up and boom, dropped everything. And I'd be like, did she? Like, I mean, it may have not been as well planned as you would. She probably woke up a week ago and called Yvette and said, hey, I'm going to drop it. And Yvette said, okay, cool. Let me alert the blog so that they know that this is coming. And let me get the picture I'm going to post for when you drop it. Like when great example, when Megan and B dropped the remix, people was like, oh, they just dropped it. But when I went to Megan's page, it was a cover. Like for, like the covers artists make for the single. I was like, so she woke up and dropped it and then the graphic designer made that? Like, no, she had already obviously told the graphic designer. So even when stuff looks like it just dropped abruptly or this just happened, there's planning behind it, right? So you just don't want to throw things to the masses. You want it to make sense. And the worst thing you can do as an artist is drop something good. I mean, a banger, and you didn't drop it like at the beginning of your career when nobody was paying attention to you, and it's really hard to go back and snatch it back. And now you're not getting your Billboard credits for it. It's not considered for Grammys or on any Hot 100s because you threw all 13 tracks out there on a Tuesday, just like.
And I know that happens a lot. I'm a culprit. I've done this in the past, and I was like, you know what? I need to change my ways.
I bet not see you do it. I'm talking about you. I haven't done
it in a while, Shatonna. But I said, you know what? Change my ways.
I'm gonna talk about you. I'm gonna be like, bruh. And if you not if an A-lister plans, how dare you not plan? Like, how dare you? You haven't even earned the right to put on some. So this is the thing: J. Cole and B put braids in their hair or wear dirty sneakers or don't clean their car for like a week, and we know an album coming. That's planning. That's prepping. That's getting people in the mindset of get ready to go buy my new stuff. If I see J. Cole and he ain't shaved, I'm like, let me put back my money because I know he about to drop the most ignorant album and go on tour, right? That's all PR strategy, man. This stuff is planned. They just up in your subconscious. You just don't realize you programmed. It's just a different way of marketing. So you need to plan. You need to prep. You need someone who can identify those things and teach you how to do it. And you don't have to keep them forever. But once you learn how to do it a couple of times, then if you can, some people can handle the PR very well. I have an A-lister. He really don't need me. He get on my nerves, right? He just really just called me to tell me about the plan. And he just want me to say, it sounds like a good plan, right? Yeah. Like, he don't need me, right? But then I have other ones that they be like, Shatonna, I'm gonna do this, and I be like, everything about that sound bad. Everything. Wow. Like, why would you even? And they be like, oh, I'm glad I have you, right? So some people can do this. Some people can slay at doing this, but you need to be sure that you can and have a professional who knows how to do it, who kind of leads you a little bit. And do not drop tracks just to drop them. Like, who?
Yeah. I think a lot of independent artists was doing that to keep the buzz going and keep the name going, but you're really playing yourself because studio time and paying for tracks is expensive.
That's right. So you need to make that back. If you dropping a track and you not making back what it took to put into it, you need a PR.
You just said the magic word, so y'all listening out there, because I know, because I stay on Twitter and social media, and that's exactly what a lot of us have been doing. So, Shatonna, what type of publicity do you book mostly? Radio, TV, online,
I do everything, because I do everything, right? So I book a lot. It depends on what kind of person it is. Right now, I'm kind of hot and heavy in TV. But yeah, man, I'm crossing over. But my firm still book across the board. I book across the board, man. It's like I don't believe in having one thing. And PR, I feel like my hands got to be deadly. So I need to be able to book everywhere and do everything and touch everything. Because most of the people that you have, entertainers, they can sing, they can rap too, and they can play 3,000 instruments. You like, bruh, you it. Then they got the personality. I can pitch them to a reality show. So for me, I like to keep a broad perspective. I do them all. I have contacts for them all, and I do them all really evenly, honestly.
And do you provide PR coaching? And I think this is an important question because I even notice a lot of mainstream artists that go on social media and just say the craziest things. And I could have sworn, like, back in the day, you would have a PR that would say, you're not going to say this. You're not talking to this person. If you talk to them, you stick to the script. You will not say this. Some of them just like say the craziest things. So do you provide PR coaching to artists that does stuff like that?
I do provide. It's called media training. And you should, if you don't have media training, you shouldn't be doing media. I don't care who you are. That's just ignorance. And people love to say all press is good press, and they lied because all press not good press, and it's gonna destroy your image in the long run. And when you're ready to cross over and for your brand to grow, it's not gonna be able to because nobody told you to shut up, right? So. Right. The thing about it is you should get that media training, but you should also, even if you do not have a publicist, if you're getting ready to go do some interviews and you got even a little buzz, I'm talking about 10K. You got about 10K people who following you. A publicist needs to accompany you to your interviews and say, this is off the table. Do not ask them this and do not talk to them about this. Or they need to get there or have a conversation and vet it before you. Because a lot of people get pulled in by these interviewers who just get them and they start asking them. And then before you knew it, they done talked about your baby mama, cousin, and friend, and you done gave all the tea, and now you stressed out.
That is so true.
Because it wasn't vetted. Or even in magazines, I have a lot of people who come and say, man, they completely twisted my words. Well, you didn't have a publicist, so now I got to go back and clean it up. when it only took you paying somebody 100 or a couple of hundreds to just make a call for you, just to vet it, to just say, don't do it. Don't ask them this. This is off the table. That's it. It's that easy. Then you don't
Wow.
even have to worry about saying anything stupid because it's off the table.
Right. Okay, and that's called media training.
Media trainer. Yeah.
Okay, I that was
That's
my
also me teaching you to sit up straight. Don't put your hands. Don't fidget. Your head moving to the left too much. People think that's a person that's lying. You look down 3 times when they were asking you a serious question. So they're going to feel like you didn't really mean it. You didn't come off as genuine. Although you're saying you're sorry, you don't look genuine when you fidget. So that's me already asking you those hard questions, going through those things so that you can truly reflect your brand, not who you are as a person. That's really important. You're not going to sell yourself the person, you're going to sell your brand because you have to be smart enough to separate the person from the brand because we're all flawed people. Your brand doesn't have to be flawed.
So I really like the way that you said that because once again, Shatonna, and speaking out of experience and just from what I see, I think a lot of people get the brand in what we do in our daily life separate. I mean, we don't know how to separate that. We look at it like they better take me for what I am.
Yeah,
You know,
that's not
we
logical.
have an
You
attitude.
can't even take you for what you are. Like, think about it. How many times have you been like, bro, why did you even say that or do that?
Yes,
Right? Or have you ever felt guilt? Like you do something, you be like, bro, or like, I didn't even have to do what I just did. Right?
yes,
That's saying that you, even as a person, can't take you sometimes. So you can't force people to take you who you are. That don't mean you're being fake. That
okay,
just means you're limiting what's out there. I do post my children. I don't post my children a lot. You don't see videos of my children. You'll
right.
see a still photo. You very rarely see a video of my kids. That's sacred. So you don't get to know how crazy my children act or their true personalities because I need to protect that, right? The same way with me, you see what I want you to see about me, right? You're not going to get that intimate relationship as the person who would lay beside me at night or my friends. You don't even get, you got to earn that. You can get my brand, you can get my personality, you can kind of hear what I like, what I deal with. But all that extra stuff, oh, honey, you got to keep watching. The views got to keep going up. You got to keep liking. You got to keep subscribing. You got to come to a couple of shows to get that part. And when people learn that, then people slowly begin to learn things about you. They should never learn you in totality because people crazy. But like,
True.
this is a relationship. Get your fans to engage, get people to engage, to learn things about your personality that constantly evolves, that I don't even have to feed my personal stuff on you, right?
Mm,
My
right.
personality don't like the fact that people get gunned down in the street. But folks don't have to know that you was part of people setting the Target store on fire. You understand what I'm saying? Like if
Right.
I had to give a terrible example, you know what I mean? Like you can be like, I support dispensaries without going to your interview with a blunt in your mouth.
Right. And I've actually witnessed that. And I was just like, oh, okay.
It's dangerous because when you put your personal, who you are as a person out there, it's hard for people to understand. So take a man who's a rapper who has this family, but then you see him with a woman a week afterwards, and now his sales suffering because he got so comfortable that his personal became his brand, and you got to be careful with that.
Mm,
So people like J. Cole so powerful is because we forget that they married. J. Cole's
right.
married. When is the last time you saw J. Cole post his wife and kid and do all that? You don't. So we don't never trip when we see J. Cole in a picture with some lady. We
Right.
forget he married. Because you get J. Cole's personality, you don't ever get his personal.
Yeah, and
And
that's
that's
very
what makes it pop. Even with J and B, you get what they give you. I like you. Have you ever sat down and thought about
good
what
at
do
that
you
too.
really know about the Carters besides what they tell us, what they allow you to see at a concert?
Mm-hmm.
You get their personality all the time. I can't tell you anything about them. Nobody can unless you're close to them.
Exactly.
People who are on top understand that. Drake's the same way. We pretend like we know so much about Drake. Oh, he's emotional, he's sensitive. Is it?
Mm-mm.
Because he had a baby for 3 years. That don't scream sensitive to me.
That said a lot. That seems like a very private person, right?
That's right.
That you know what they wanted you to know.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get the brand without actually getting the who I am as a person. That ain't your business. You're gonna have to I gotta say something for my kids, for my friends, for the person I lay beside at night.
Right.
Because if not, then you're drained
Mm.
and you're burnt out. And your brand can't go anywhere if the person is drained.
Facts. Good words. Great words. So tell us what results do you consider particularly successful for you?
It's different for everybody as long as you're growing. If your social media was trash when I met you and it looks great now and you know how to manage it and you've been posting for 6 weeks and your page still look good, that's progress. If you weren't making any money before I met you, now I done taught you how to put some stuff on Spotify and you got even 3 more followers than before, that's success.
That's true.
If like you have to be honest and real about where your brand is and where it's going. And just because it's starting slow, don't think that's always gonna be where it is. Celebrate those small successes. Celebrate your managers and your PRs and the people who's making small strides. If you ain't never got an interview before, but at least people emailing back telling you why they're not interviewing you, you can fix that. And that's
Okay.
a success. That's
That's
not a
true.
failure, right? You just have to learn to see the right way.
That's true. And do you have look, I had this question a lot of people wanted to know. Do you have room for new clients? Because you are very busy. I see you. I know what you do. Do you have any room for new clients?
I am going to open up new client spots in June. It's 3. That's it.
Oh, just Shatonna?
And it won't open back up until next year.
Oh my. Okay, just 3
I have
spots.
that kind of roster right now, man. It's different. It's different. But I
Oh.
do post opportunities all the time for like casting, for like shows and stuff like that. I'm always looking.
Okay.
Listen, people will tell you like Shatonna be on my page, like people on my talent roster, my talent program now be like, bruh, she found me. I don't even know. I wasn't even popping like that. I am always looking. I am a creative. I want to see writers and producers and hosts and actors. I'm always looking. I'm loving to give somebody an opportunity, even if you're not underneath my firm. I'm like, hey, bro, let me tell you about this person out here in Indianapolis that I just saw. Like I am that person, right? So I have 3 spots that are going to open up in June because I'm ending 3 contracts, but that'll be it. But I'm always looking. Don't be afraid to hop in slide in my DMs, man. If I don't see it this month, you never know when I will, because I'm that person that's up at 3 o'clock in the morning, like the industry needs some more R&B, and I'm looking. Or like, that's me. Or like, oh my God, like they need somebody for this TV show in LA. I'm up looking. Like I'm always looking, right? So don't be discouraged because I got 3 spots, child. Just know I'm always looking at you. I'll make room if you're good enough. If you can make it make sense, Bogart a little bit, like T, it's me. It's me you've been looking
Yeah.
for. I mess around and make some stuff shake.
Okay. So y'all here, you gotta have your confidence up and don't be afraid to reach out. I'm not afraid to reach out. Okay.
People been reaching out all week, like, hey, can I get you on the interview? I'm like, yeah, they like, you really gonna do it? I'm like, yeah. Like, I mean, I'll do it. If I have the time to do it, I'm always giving back. I believe one thing, and I think everybody needs to know this. What you plant will grow. What you plant will grow. So if you're doing good and you're expanding. Keep planting those good seeds. Keep reaching back. Keep collaborating. Keep caring. Keep loving. Keep liking. Keep being kind, because those things always come back, even to people who don't appreciate it, even to people who bash you, even to people who gossip. If you can master the art of controlling you, fixing a relationship with yourself, and planting seeds throughout your journey, they will always grow, and they will grow in crazy ways. There are things that I worked on 2 years ago that I put in someone's ear that came alive. A person came to me and said, "Hey T, remember 2 years ago when I saw you in passing? I ain't even know you. Yeah, that project that you wanted to do, I want to fund it." That's real life happens to me all the time,
Wow.
because you just never know. Just keep being good, keep being kind. You don't have to fight back bad people, man. Monsters get what they deserve. Keep working on your craft. Fix what you can about you. Fix what you can about your brand. Get help when you can. Pick up the free game. But whatever you do, don't give up. And if you're a monster in somebody's story, that's great. Accept that and fix that part of you and become good. Because God always allows you the chance to right your wrong. True story.
Thank you so much for these encouraging words. And I'm so serious because I don't care what part of the game you in, you need to have a genuine person that is looking out for your best interest, and you just a real person. Like, I reached out to you and I just appreciate you for even interviewing with me, because I have questions. I know a lot of people and they are just terrified to talk to a publicist, and they need to know that you are as real as it gets, And so I appreciate you so much. And I'm
Thank you for having me.
that I can even work with you, because I'm not dropping nothing. People keep trying to get me to drop. I'm
I'm
not
talking about you. See,
dropping.
once you on my radar, I'm talking about you. If you drop something, I'm like, what is this?
I'm not. I'm
Just
not.
sit back, be cool, trust the process, and like shoot me your stuff, man. Like you said, you reached out and I answered. I do my best to answer. Or somebody from my team gonna be like, "Hey, let me get you a T," because I even
Okay.
hire people like me. Because so many people think it's so many bad people in this industry, and it's not. It's just a few people that gave a whole bunch of people a bad rep. And that's actors, that's singing. We are the most passionate people in the entertainment industry, man. If we get back to planting those good seeds and looking out for each other, it's so much room at the top. It's so much growth at the top. But it starts with small things like being able to take an interview across the plane. I don't care how big I get. I'm gonna always be like, "Hey, what podcast? Put me in the paint, bro. I got 5 minutes. Let's go." Right? Always.
Right.
And I pride myself on that. So absolutely, don't be afraid to reach out. If you can't reach out to anybody else, find my PR firm. Hop it, slide in those DMs. Even if I don't answer, my staff gonna answer you. They're gonna be like, "They crazy." They gonna answer you though.
Awesome. Can you, Shatonna, can you give people your social media information to
Yes.
they
So
can
if
reach
you're looking
you?
for it, the firm is the same across the board. The finest hour PR firm. It may have like some underscores or something in it for Instagram. So the underscore finest underscore hour underscore PR. But if you type in the finest hour PR, Twitter, Instagram, even my website, they're all the same. For me, my name is very unique. Shatonna J. Nelson is everywhere. It's the same thing. You just type it in and you find me. And boom, you got me, you got my firm.
I was about to say, and you can even put her name in Google. I mean, she A1. That's why I was just like,
It's
I'm
like
getting an interview.
somebody told me the other day, like, "Hey, bro, you know you Googleable." I'm like, "Is it good?" They like, "Yeah, you good." I'm like, "All right, just let."
Yes. Pictures, flawless. You own it. So it's just like, yeah, definitely. I'm so happy to have informative interviews where artists get so much knowledge and information. And I know that this is gonna help, including myself. So once again, I thank you so much for your time as we wrap this up, and I pray that God continuously continue to bless you.
Thank you so much. You too, ma'am.
Thank you so much,
All
Antonio.
right, y'all. I'm out. If I can figure out how to get off of this thing, child. Oh, okay.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
All right, bye.